Hello, welcome to Math Inquiry Learning Journey session by the Growing Young Mathematicians Foundation, the GYM Foundation. We share ideas to make your kids think and enjoy mathematics learning. In this session, we'll see how most of the primary students answer for an interesting question about how to find if a number is an even number or an odd number. Yes, most of the primary students would immediately say it's simple. A number which ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 are even numbers. Yes, but do you know why it is so? Or how can you prove that the numbers ending with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 are even numbers? Many children would say maybe they are divisible by 2, or maybe that is how I have been taught. But when asked with the question why numbers divisible by 2 end with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, many of them may get stuck with an So, in this session, we are going to see how, by asking questions and through an hands on activity, children can explore themselves and understand why the numbers ending with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 are even numbers. Come, let's go to the activity and the guiding questions. You need around 20 nuts or shells or any counters and follow the instructions below and have a notepad to note down your observations. Let's start the activity now. So, our idea is to find if the numbers have pairs, can form pairs or not. So, let's take one nut first. And in this one nut, can you form a pair? A pair is nothing but having a friend to accompany. Is it having a friend to accompany a pair? This nut is not having a friend to accompany. Let's take two nuts. Does it has a pair or a friend to accompany? Yes, this nut has a pair, the next one, and the next one has a pair again, right? So it has a pair. So those numbers in which all the nuts or the shells in it has pairs are called even numbers. So obviously then 2 will be a even number because all the nuts in it is having the pair. And numbers in which one nut does not has a pair. So if any one nut is not having a pair, then it is called an odd number. So now we understood what is an odd and an even number. So even number has pairs, and odd number does not have pairs. So now forming pair for numbers 3 till 10. So you are going to take the nuts and form pairs and figure out which numbers are odd and which are even. So basically 1 is an odd number and 2 is an even number and 3 it has a pair, and this is not having a pair, so this is an odd number. And 4, yes, both the or nuts are having pairs, so it's an even number. So you can do the same till 10, and you can see 9 is an odd number and 10 is an even number. So even numbers, they have all pairs, and odd numbers have one left out. You can use actually make a table like this where you write the numbers from 0 to 10 and write what they are, an odd or an even number. Now take a few minutes of a pause in the video and observe this table and share your observations here about the numbers, about being odd and even, or seeing anything interesting in this table. Now that you have observed, let's proceed further. So, these are some of the observations that we can make from this table. Odd and even numbers come alternately, isn't it? So, if you have an odd number, the next number should be an even number. If you have an even number, then the next number should be an odd number. So, this means that an even number is preceded and followed by an odd number, isn't it? And odd numbers are 1, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And the even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Right? So, these are the observations, and you can also make many more observations. So, can you wonder uh, why some questions from this table or about odd or even, basically why it is happening like that, or some other questions that comes to your mind, which are very a bit more thought provoking. So some take a pause here and then think about it and come back now to see some of the questions here that can be answered by thinking. So, is 0 an odd or an even number? Can I find if a number is odd or even without making pairs? Because if I have a big number, how do I collect so many nuts and share, make pairs and figure it out? Is there some other way that I can do it? And can there be a number which is neither odd number nor even number? Can it even be possible? So these are some of the questions that we could think of. If you have some more questions, please share in the comments. So now let's do this activity and then think about it. Is zero an odd or an even number? So in this question, you can basically think that you have a box of empty nuts. You can say there is no zero pairs of nuts. So that could be a even number. So there are other mathematical properties which define zero as an even number, because uh, any multiple of 2 is an even number. So 0 is also a multiple of 2. 2 into 0 will be 0. So therefore 0 is a even number because it has even number of pairs, like 0 number of pairs in it. Can I find if a number is odd or even without making pairs? Let's try doing this experiment with the nuts some more and figure out if we can see any pattern in it. So, as we already know, 10 has all the pairs, so it is an even number. And 11 has tens and then ones, so 10 plus 1. And does 11 has a pair? No, it has a odd number. So, how can we try writing this 10 plus 1? 10 is an even number, and 1 we already saw on the table, it's a odd number. So even plus odd, actually I'm getting a even odd number. Let's take 12. So 12 also has 10 plus 2. So the number 10 has all pairs, that we already confirmed. The number 10 has all pairs, and so if I write 10 plus 2, I can write it is a even plus even, and that is an even number, right? So let's take some more examples to see if it really applicable that even plus odd is an odd and even plus even is an even. So let's do 13. I can split it as 10 plus 3. I can split it as 10 plus 3. So 10, as we know, it's an even number, and if I add an odd number, I get an odd number, right? Because is not having a pair. What about 19? Let's take this 10 plus 9. Okay, so this is also again a odd number because even plus odd is an odd. So, with this experiment of splitting the numbers in tens and ones, we can find that even plus odd is an odd number and even plus even is an even number. So, for any tens, if you add 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it is a even number. So even for 10, you can write it as 10 plus 0. There is no pairs. So even plus even is an even number. So then comes the question of, can any number be written as tens and ones? Yeah, so let's take this example of 46. 40, as you can see here, all are tens and all have pairs. And then the 6 here, the number 6, as we all know from the table we built, it is a even number. So even plus even is a even number. Let's take another big odd number. So here we can write it as 40 plus 6. And here with the number 37, you write it as 30 plus 7. and 30 is a even number, and 7 is a odd number because it is not having a pair. So even plus odd is a odd. So what do we conclude from this? So can we say that any big number, let's take 808,956, is this a odd or even number? Yes, we can write it as tens and ones. Let's see, 8950 plus 6. And what does 8950 means? These many tens. And we all understood that all tens are even number. It can be any 10, and that should be a even number because it has pairs. So this is a even number, and this is again a even number. So even number and another even number is an even number. So based on this observation, we can say that we can find out without making pairs. How? Basically we can say that all tens, 10, 20, 30, everything are even numbers, and all numbers can be written as tens and ones, like we saw 8950 plus 6. So adding an even number of tens with the even ones. So what are the even ones? It could be 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. It will give me an even number. So this is the reasoning that can be provided exactly to say why we are checking only the ones place. And the main point is all tens are even numbers. Therefore, if I add any ones to it, based on the ones, I can easily check if it is an even or an odd. Yeah, interesting. So let's come to this question of, can there be a number which is neither odd nor even number? What do you think? All whole numbers, meaning the numbers that you write in a full form, 1, 2, 3 as a full number, they has to be either odd or an even number. Why? Because they come alternately. As we see here in this table, they come alternately. If you tell a big number 8, 5, 9, 6, 2, 3, 1, so this can be an odd number, and I say 8596232, the next number to be a even number. So all whole numbers should either be a even number or be a odd number. So even the infinite, if you say infinite plus 1, can be a odd or even number. Yeah. So let's take a minute to pause and reflect based on the conclusions and the questions we have asked. Do you come with any new questions that will make you wonder about, okay, if you say so, then how can I say about some other numbers that you know? Think for a minute and come back now. So I could think of some of these questions like this. Maybe you could have some more questions. Do share in that comment section. Can a negative number also be an odd or even number? Hmm. Yeah, good question to think, isn't it? And what about a decimal number and a fraction number? They can also be odd or a even number. And what happens when many odd and many even numbers are added, or two odd numbers are added? So you can try this activity and figure out what could be the answers for these questions. So this is how mathematics is being built up in so many decades and millennia. Mathematics is about creating new ideas and not just calculations. So with these kind of interesting activities, you can create curious questions and make math learning to be fun and enriching. Follow Math Inquiry Learning Journey by the Jim Foundation to discuss about such interesting questions and activities that make your kids think. Do share your comments and questions in the comment section. Thank you. Enjoy math learning.